Hello out there in the world. This is Brandy Woods coming live from PHU TV. I am so excited not only about our topic tonight, but about our guests. This webinar series, I have to say, has been the funnest series. I have truly loved interviewing all of the guests. So big shout outs to Vanetta Freeney. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed you. Quinea Johnson, thank you so much. Tonight, we have the famous, the infamous Natalie Woods-Leffall with us tonight. And next week, we have Miss Brandy Spencer. Those of you who have not watched the last two previous webinars, you have to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You have to go and see what those ladies had to say. They really honed in on how to use your skills, what platforms we should be on, how consistent we should be with our customer base. I was really excited about what I learned and what I could implement in my own business. Be that said, tonight we're going to learn so much more about how to run your business, but really about the mindset, the tenacity, the drive that you need, and the faith that you need to run your business. If you know me, you know that I do believe that God is the source. And faith without works is dead. It's one of my favorite scriptures because I believe that we all want to do certain things in our life, but sometimes we don't take the position or the steps or the movement to get us to where we want to be. And I can actually remember being in that position. So for those of you who really don't know my story, I did not always have Imagine Me Academy. I did not always have PowerHouses United. I actually set on my dreams for 7 years. I hate to admit it, but it's actually true. I had a dream in my heart. I had some of the resources to accomplish my dream. I mean, I had the degrees, I had the supportive family, and I still did nothing. I did nothing. Well, I did a few things, but it wasn't prosperous. But I didn't actually start my business. I wouldn't say it was a leap. I think I got pushed over the cliff a little bit. I didn't start my business until my back was against the wall. And I don't want that to be your story. Yes, we started and we're successful, and I can look now. It hasn't even been 3 years. In that time, we have changed. Our revenue has grew from $800 a month to almost $40,000 a month. That is a big change in 2 years. But I didn't do it by myself. One of the people who was my biggest supporters, my cheerleaders, the person who pushed me off the couch so many days, the person who designed my website, got all my marketing materials together, let me cry on their shoulder, and believe it or not, gave me the last $5,000 that I needed to start my business, is on with us tonight. So I would like to welcome to you, introduce you to my business bestie, my sister, my confidant, my marketing director, sometimes my minister, my traveling buddy, Miss Natalie Woods-Leffall.
Hey everybody, that was awesome, girl. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's great to be here, and even as I hear you kind of reflect on your story, I almost got a little teary-eyed. It's definitely been a journey, but I think we can both say that it's been worth it. Right?
Definitely a journey, though. I mean, I can remember some highs and lows, and even sometimes questioning, did I make the right decision? I know that we were blessed. We had a mom, and it really goes back to the things that you don't know that you draw from. We had a mom that basically said, you can do anything. If you want to fly, okay, let me find you a cape. If you want to do this, go ahead and explore the world. Now, the only thing she told us not to do is try for American Idol, and I'm still kind of sad about that. But other than that, we had the support system, but it was definitely some valleys and some mountaintop experiences.
Right. I mean, so tonight, we really just want to, well, I just want to take a moment and just really inform, educate, and inspire those who are tuning in tonight. No matter where you are in this journey of your dream, whether you are still kind of asleep, where you know that you keep having this dream, but it's just a dream. You know, you're asleep, you haven't acted on it, you think about it a lot, but you really, I mean, you haven't done anything. Maybe you haven't even shared it with anyone. I want to talk to you a little bit tonight. And then those of you who have the dream, you know, you've thought about it, you talked to people about it, you've done some research, maybe you've been to other conferences, webinars, talked to people that could help you, but for whatever reason, things are just still not off the ground. And then those of you who have actually kind of taken a little leap, you're there and you realize that, again, you had some victories and then you've had some struggles and you're kind of like, where do I go from here? I will tell you that I talk to people in all three of those categories on a weekly basis. And so I know what you're going through. I know what it's like, but I also know that there is help. And so I'm really hopeful that tonight that we don't just chat, that we leave here with help.
Well, I mean, that's a great segue. I want to tell people, first of all, this series is all about informing people about an event that's coming up April 30th, PowerHouses United. A few years ago, I really felt an impression to help people accomplish their goals. And many times you hear me say, I feel like I'm a midwife to all dreams. I love helping people birth their dreams. In that effect, after you leave tonight and after you listen to the webinar series, you're going to need to be able to make some actionable steps. So I want you to ask questions tonight. Use the hashtag PHU2016. We'll be following that hashtag on Twitter and on Facebook. You can message me privately on Facebook, as well as on Twitter. So on Twitter, you don't have to have my handle, but my handle is Loving B Woods, at Loving B Woods. And so we want to answer the questions that you have about taking the leap and growing a prosperous business. So we don't want this to be a one-way conversation. I do answer questions all through the webinar. And so I'm going to start right there, Natalie. We have some questions for you. One of my viewers had a really, really great question. She says, I wanted to start things so many times, but I just don't know if it's the right time. So when is it right to start, or when is it right to take a leap?
You know, the cliche thing to say is that there's never a right time, but that is not true. That is not true. There will probably never be a comfortable time, because anytime that you are contemplating leaving the security of, you know, what we think of as a traditional job, it's never comfortable. And some people, and I do want to kind of speak to that tonight, some of you may be contemplating actually leaving your career or your job to launch a business, while others of you don't have that plan. You may plan to work while you work, and that's fine. But just to answer that, there is a good time, but there's never a comfortable time. So for me, the advice to you is that you launch the dream when you've done the work. It's like anything else. I'm not going to go out and drive a car, and I've never driven a car before. They're not going to give me a license. And a lot of times we're reckless. You know, we jump behind the wheel and we start driving, and we have no training. We have no information. All we have is a dream. And the dream is a great foundation. It's a great starting place. It's a great launching pad for your leap, but it's not all that you need. And so I would say to you, you know, if you're really serious about your dream, then you start by taking the time and investing in getting the information, investing in talking to other people, investing in training and understanding the industry or the thing that you want to do. What are the trends? What's going on? What's your earning potential? Asking the right questions, looking for the right answers. And then guess what? You'll be empowered to leap. Because a lot of times we don't leap because we really know we're not ready. When you are ready, trust me, you'll jump.
I mean, I think you made a valid point about doing the work. I felt a little Elanya come upon me. You know, anytime you're about to start a business, there are some rules to that industry. For example, in the childcare industry, there are so many rules that I have to follow. But when you know the rules of the game, you can be a player in the game. So how do I find the rules of my industry? What do I do to do the work? You know, what do I start with researching? There's so much out there. Do I start with marketing? Do I start a business plan? What do you mean do the work?
Well, what I mean by do the work, first of all, and I'm giving some general advice. If you want more specific advice, we really advise you to reach out to PowerHouses United, and they can connect you with me and other experts that have been on these webinars. So I'm going to speak from a very general sense, because we can have somebody on here from someone who is literally selling Mary Kay, you know, to someone who is looking at opening a restaurant, or like yourself, Brandy, a daycare center, or even a service-oriented business like mine, like a marketing company. And so it varies. But I'm going to say this. Of course, we have the World Wide Web at our fingertips. But I will say there's a lot on the web that's good, and there's a lot on the web that's not good. There's a lot of inaccuracies.
Amen. Amen.
So with that, you kind of have to really divide and conquer a little bit and separate. So Google is just one place. I love Google. I'm not going to say I don't Google things, because I do. But one of the most helpful things to me has really been connecting with people who are doing what I want to do. Asking them, you know, how did you start? What did you do? What were your challenges? How much money did you need to get that off the ground? Did you have to advertise? Who was your customer? You know, did people support you in the beginning, or did they not? And if they didn't, why? You know, did you start this right away, or did you take some time? There's a lot of value into talking to people. And, you know, my grandmother, you know, a lot of grandmothers would say, closed mouths don't get fed. And a lot of times we don't ask. And every now and then, I do want to touch on this. You will run into someone who does not want to help you. Like, they feel like they have a corner on the market. I don't know any market in the world that's cornered. There's always room for somebody else. So if you find somebody who's not willing to help you, don't let that stop you. Go on to the next person. Sometimes we need to seek people that we don't know. Just because you don't know me, it doesn't mean you can't inbox me on Facebook, or you can't hit me up on Twitter, or you can't go to my website and send me a message and say, I see you're an expert in XYZ. I'm looking to do this. Can you help me? And so I think, you know, talking to people, you know, is one way who are experts in the area that you want to go in. Has really been helpful for me.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I had a mentor when I went into the school, and she had a school, and I had been her customer, and she was so giving to me. And there are times where I even call her now. And so shouts out to Kelly and Anointed Christian Academy, because she didn't have to do it. And for 7 years, off and on, I bugged her. Well, what about this pricing? And what about this? So, you know, how you do this in the industry? And recently I had to call her about transportation. The thing about reaching out for help, people don't want you to waste their time. But if you're coming to them with legitimate questions, and you're coming to them with a sincere heart, and you're not trying to abuse them, they are going to be more willing to ask your questions. Now, what you do not want to do is say, can I prick your brain for 5 hours for free? That's disrespectful. Okay. So if you really want to ask someone a question, you want to email them. You want to tell them exactly what you want. You want to go by their business. You want to support them in what they're doing. And then people don't have a problem sharing with you. I don't have a problem sharing any information about opening a school. But when you want to walk step by step with me in opening your school, that's a different relationship. So I want to be very clear that when you're ready, when you want someone to walk you step by step, that may have a cost, but you are gathering years of their experiences to help you compact what you need to do in a short amount of time. And it's well worth it. But you need to make sure you respect and you know that person, and that you research them and you know their industry. I mean, you do it in a very appropriate and positive way. But having a mentor is one of the things that's going to grow you so much faster, because they're going to let you know when you're off key and you're off kilter, and you're out of the industry standard. It does not mean you can't use your own creativity, but we all need a sounding board. So Natalie, I have a next question for you. You know, we kind of talked about how to get off to a right start. So let's just say I've started my business and I'm making a little money and I have that itch to leave my 9-to-5 job. I'm ready to transition out. How do I know the timing is right? What steps do I need to take to fire my boss so I can build my dream?
I'll start with a little scripture that says, so be it unto you according to your faith. I'll start there, because I really do think that it's different for everybody. from a spiritual standpoint, really, if you are being moved and led by God to do something, then I say go, you know, knowing that you still may have some downfalls, you still may have some rough days, you know, go. But if that's not the urgency, if it really is about a plan, what I can tell you what I did. I worked an entire year, and maybe a little more than a year. I worked at my job, I was working at a radio station, for a year and a half, building my business, working for them, and I was tired because I didn't sleep. So I was basically keeping my commitment to one organization and trying to build my own. When I left, my income that I was making at the radio station matched, and I want to say it even at one point slightly exceeded my salary, which means I felt very comfortable leaving because I wasn't going to be in an immediate financial strain. Let's say that. So for some of you, it may be really looking at the fact, has my income reached a point in my business that I can walk away from my job and not cause a financial strain on myself if you're single, or your family if you have kids or a spouse. So, you know, that's one way. And then there's that spiritual side, like I said, that says, hey, no matter what, I gotta go, you know, and I've planned, I've set things in place. Again, listen to me. I've planned, I've set things in place, and I'm prepared to go. Not just I'm going without a plan. I wholeheartedly believe in having a plan. I wholeheartedly believe in being engaged. And one of the things I was going to interject when you were talking a moment ago about making a financial investment and where you're going is, you know, you talk a lot about, do I have a business or do I have a hobby? You know, don't quit your job for a hobby. Don't leave your career for a hobby. Don't stop being, the director of your department for a hobby, because you will regret it. But if this is a career, that means that you're willing to make an investment in it. So if you're not willing to pay, $99 or $100 to go to a seminar or to learn what you need to learn or to hire a coach, then I'm probably going to think that you have a hobby. Because when you really, really want something, your attitude, your actions, and even where you're willing to place your resources, it totally changes. It totally changes.
I absolutely agree. And one of the things that I can tell the difference when people are serious is what they put into themselves. It's just like if you're dieting, and I'm not a dieting expert, but when you get serious about your health, you change what you put in your body. When you get serious about your business, you're going to change where you spend your time and what you put in your mind. You know, I love reality TV, but guess what? I can't watch Real Housewives of Atlanta during my planning time on Sunday. I have to DVR. Or when I have a webinar that one of my colleagues is hosting, and I know that I need to know about building an email list, I need to tune in. And so when you're really at the point where you want to grow your business, you begin making different investments in the books you read, in the trips you take. I'm all about the mini vacation and the mini retirement. I don't know if I'll ever retire. I'm reading a book now, right here, The 4-Hour Work Week. One of the reasons that I love it is because it talks about setting up a life you love so much that you're not waiting on a retirement moment. And so when I find that people are really serious about their business, spending a few $100s for the tools you need for your business, or sitting down with a strategy session with someone that has proven results, or getting your logo in vector format where you can use it, those things are not a burden. They're just the stepping stones that you need to take to legitimize your business. So I'm just going to give you a few questions. I'm going to throw them out there to you to, kind of back the business a hobby. Do you have an LLC or a business structure for your business? Yes or no? Do you have a bank account in the name of your business? Do you have funds set up for the use of your business, such as copying, resources, materials? Okay. Do you have employees? These are the things that kind of put you on the guide to a business rather than a hobby. Some things are seasonal and they're great. I know people who make wonderful pamper cakes, and I'm not saying that it cannot be a business, But most of the time, are they going to earn the $60,000 to $70,000? Are they going to be able to produce that volume to make it into a viable business? Maybe not. So you really have to know your number. And when I say know your number, you have to know how much money you need to operate your family. That and to operate your business. Those two numbers will guide you in the direction of everything else you need. If you don't know those numbers, you're going to always be shooting in the dark, and you're going to be ill prepared for really running a viable, vivacious, scalable business. Okay, I'm off my tangent. So Natalie, I have the next question for you. Okay, you're telling me I need to take a leap, right? And so I need to get my resources together and all of these great things. What are some key tools? I know you're a marketing guru. What are some key tools do I need to have a place to be taken seriously in business? Because guys, I see some stuff out there and you may not know it, but you're literally saying to people, I am a joke. Okay. And I don't want you screaming, I am a joke, by the way you have things set up, when really that may not be the truth. But we live in a day and age where your online presence has to match your offline expertise. So help us, Ms. Leffall, please.
Well, that is so funny. That's so funny. I think the great part is that you're right. Like the web can make, you can run a business out of your garage, and the web can make it seem as if you are running a multi-million-dollar corporation. I mean, I remember seeing something where these girls had launched a line of shapers, and literally they were selling them and making them out of their garage, and people were ordering online. And I mean, they were selling them. So your online presence is very, very, very important. It's 2016. You need a website, and you need a website with words that are spelled correctly and images that people can see clearly, with verbiage that is aligned correctly and grammatically correct. You need a logo. I mean, something that represents you, that is your brand. I mean, if you think about McDonald's, you think about the golden arches. If you think about Target, you think about that little red dot. We all know what Starbucks, and and so you want to begin to build a brand that people identify your business with. You need business cards. I know some of this stuff seems really, really simple, but you need that. If you meet somebody, how do you have them connect with you? What do you hand them? And I know Brenda and I were laughing the other day because now we take pictures of business cards, and a lot of times we throw them away. But the bottom line is, I don't know if we got into a place where they're no longer needed, or not an industry standard. I think we're moving there, but we're not quite there yet. But more than that, those are the things. What really just dropped in my heart, though, is that you really need an operational standard also. I mean, you need to know what it is you provide. You need to be able to clearly communicate what it is you provide. You need a timeline and boundaries for your product or your services. And people need to be able to trust that you are going to do what you say you do, and you're going to deliver when you say you're going to deliver. And then that will set the stage for you to be a success. There's nothing like dealing with a small business that's small-minded and that doesn't deliver.
I mean, I really want to just throw money through the computer at you because I really felt like you gave some nuggets. And listen, guys, if you are an army of one, you don't have to appear to be an army of one. Now there are VA services. There are websites that can do things for you that maybe you can't do yourself. And then there are people out there with affordable packages. The one thing that I love about Natalie Leffall and TMO Creative is that she's done a great job of pricing herself in such an affordable manner that you still can feed your kids after you get some of those foundational things. The goal in business is not to go broke or not be able to do anything else. But in the beginning stages of business, in the infancy stages, the standard you set is going to be the standard people respect you for. They're not going to give you that second chance to make a second impression all the time. Sometimes you'll get lucky and people will give you a second chance. But the first time that you don't follow up, the first time that you miss an appointment with the person, you don't keep your deadline, or you can't communicate effectively, all of those things contribute in the opinion that they're making about you and your ability to deliver the service you say you can deliver. So Natalie made a good point. She said that you need to be able to communicate what you do effectively. So I'm all about putting people on the spot. So I'm going to channel my Funky Dineva personality.
Yeah.
With my red lipstick on, right? And I am going to ask her, so Miss Leffall, what do you do?
I take the vision that is in your mind and I put action behind it and I bring it to reality. Again, whether you are at the beginning stages of your dream, the middle, or even further along, most people who come to me because they hit a wall or they're at a place where they really just need help. I don't write the vision. I help you clarify the vision and put the steps behind the vision. I really love taking what someone wants to do and just refining it for them. So I do that through many means, whether it's social media, whether it's traditional marketing, whether it's radio, it's television, it's writing, or it's even just helping you communicate to your customer more effectively about, what it is that you do. In all of that, you have all of your traditional things, your websites, your business plans, your marketing plans. We do all of that. But I just love the fact that, we're creative about it. We're fresh about it. We're refreshing, great with campaigns, great with wording, and just really helping you to communicate your message.
So when you hear someone's message and they just don't have the confidence. I mean, they feel like I can remember a client we worked. You remember Pamper Cool Cap? Girl, we're not going to talk about that. I am. My audience wants me to be truthful. But
okay.
I think she had a wonderful product, and other people that I've seen you work with, sometimes they have a wonderful product. They don't have confidence. And I know confidence is not something you can buy. How do I get the confidence to really believe in my stuff?
I mean, and again, that comes with, first of all, sometimes you really have to surround yourself with people who will be honest with you. I think confidence comes from, number one, knowing that you have a good product or a good service. And you know what, Brandy? Sometimes when we start out, we don't. You know what I'm saying? So you need somebody like me who will look at you and say, well, you know what? This is not quite right, but this is what we can do to get it right. Or have you considered that this is a seasonal product, that this is a single niche product? This is not something that is for the masses. Because if I can help your expectation, or I can help you understand your market and your market value, don't let me forget, because I really want to talk about pricing. If I can help you understand that, then we can go somewhere. If you're open to me saying, this is not such a great idea, or this, then, and I'm always going to do that because, and I really want to say this to service-oriented business people. If you are a consultant, something that is, all the time not tangible, let's just say you're guiding people through, you need to always be very honest and set very clear expectations. I don't go to my clients and say, you know what, in 6 months, I'm going to make sure that your business can make $100,000. If I can't deliver on that, that's not what I say, just to close the deal. Because what happens is you give them false hope, you give them a false expectation, you can't deliver, and now your reputation is ruined. So I really pride myself on being honest, and it has been a blessing for me, because either I work with that client under that honesty, or we don't work together, and I feel like I'm still good because I probably saved myself a lot of headache and a lot of turmoil. You got to be, and that's another reason, if I know they're ready or not. If you can't take constructive criticism, you're probably not ready. If you don't welcome it and you don't desire it, you're probably not ready.
And let me say this, definitely, when you are on this journey and you find out something you love to do is not a business, it doesn't mean you have to stop doing it. It's just not income generating, and that's okay. I speak to teens and children's ministries all the time. It's a ministry for me. I'm not trying to use that for to pay my rent or to pay, my kids' summer vacation. It's a ministry. Will I ever stop doing it? No, I won't. So some things that you love to do, you don't have to make it into a business. If you love blogging, but most bloggers do not make their living off of bloggers. There are some of them that have made it and now they're on TV shows and they're hosting, but that's not how they make their main living. But if you love it anyway, you want to keep your voice, and you can always still build your brand. So there's some things that we do, they're just for us. They don't have to be for the reason of making money. So if you have an ideal and you say, I still want to do this, still do it. It does not mean you have to stop. But just don't call it a business. You have to treat business like business. And you get frustrated when you expect to yield the returns from a hobby like a business. So for me, I'm on a race to 7 figures. I have clearly set a goal that by 2017 that I will have accumulated in my business 7 figures of income, of revenue. I'm very clear about that, right? Now, something that I love to do may not make the money to get me there, but I know what will. My schools, Imagine Me Academy, and my business incubator, PowerHouses United, are the tools that will get me to that goal. Not ministry. Will I stop doing ministry? Never. So just have clear expectations of the things you do in your life. And if you love it, you don't have to let it go. All right, Natalie, I have one more question. And then I want to talk about a great offer that you have for the PowerHouses United community. And I know that you came to PowerHouses United in November. And so I want you to give them the inside scoop of what to expect on April 30th when they walk through those doors of PowerHouses United. And so this is our last question for right now. I think it's our last question. We got another question coming through, and I'm going to try to get to it. I see you out there. This is the question. How do I know if I'm making a safe leap or a reckless leap?
I think it goes back to what I said in the beginning. This is how you make a reckless leap, and I've seen them. No names, but I have seen, teachers. I'll start with educators, because I think a lot of times teachers get really frustrated. You do the most amazing work in the world, but you are underpaid and underappreciated. And so I find a lot of teachers get really, really, really frustrated. And so I've seen teachers who, May 31st comes, June 5th, whenever we get out of school. Now they just keep us in way too long. But whenever we get out of school, and they just decide in the summer, you know what? I'm not going back. I'm not going back. And that's what they decide. I'm not going back. And there is no, there's no real plan. There's no real vision. And I've seen, some educators really, really struggle. And there's a lot a teacher can do. You could go into, coaching. You could go into a tutoring service. I mean, you could totally come out of education if you don't want to deal with children. But you gotta, that's a reckless leap to me, because there's no plan. Unless you're sitting on a gold mine of cash somewhere, to where, you can live off of for a designated amount of time, then I think that is a reckless leap. A leap of faith says, I don't have it all together. I don't have all the money. I don't have maybe every single piece in place, but I have a really strong foundation, and I have a solid plan that tells me where I'm headed. That is a leap of faith. A reckless leap says, I have none of that. I'm just going to drop everything that I'm doing, and so God help me. And you know what? I really pray that he would, because it would be scary.
Yeah, and you don't want, following your dreams to put a bad taste in your mouth, because if you experience a certain amount of failure, you're going to be less apt to listen to your intuition. One of the books I read recently was Blink, and it really talked about how to follow your intuition. I believe when I opened my schools, even though, like I said before, it was a dream in my heart for 7 years, I believe I had found myself in the right time. And I don't often talk about the universe, but the universe of Crosby shifted for me. It was like a pocket of opportunity that opened up for me. And I really think that we opened at the exact time that we were supposed to open. But we took a lot of time researching and pricing ourselves correctly and knowing our industry. And this is the other question that I have. So whether I'm a coach or a consultant, because as some of you know, I still consult for one of the largest districts in America. And I love them. And I was blessed with great consulting clients coming out of the gate. And so now I really love helping small business owners because I have been able to help million and billion-dollar industries refine their programs to yield the results that they want. And I'm proud about that. But I do notice something with small business owners, Natalie. They price themselves so small. And so when we get those contracts and we're reviewing them for some of the top companies that I work for, we're looking at them thinking, this is too cheap. This something right here is not off. So how do we price ourselves not to already put a X over our proposal?
Right. So let's go back to, let's even take a look at Imagine Me Academy. I mean, one of the first things that we did when we started looking at, you know, what to charge the parents is we looked at the market. We looked at the other daycare centers that were in Crosby, and we looked at what they were charging. Were they charging for infants? What were they charging for toddlers? What were they charging for after school programs? And from there, we used that as a base to look at what our pricing could be. Now, we didn't price lower than anyone. We didn't try to price necessarily the same as anyone. What we tried to do, and this is what I really want everybody to listen to, we looked at, yes, what was the average price in the market? And then we looked at what was the value that we were going to give a parent that nobody else in that area was giving them. Because one thing that you have to understand is that people will pay for what they value. They will buy, they will spend more. I like Hunt's ketchup. I don't buy Del Monte. I don't buy generic brand ketchup. Hunt's ketchup could charge me $1 more per bottle, and I'm going to pay it because I want the quality of my ketchup. That's just me, right? So what happens is a lot of times when you don't know your value, then you will charge less. You have to know what you are worth. Again, going back to that, this is why you probably need a consultant. You have to be able to communicate what you are worth. So for example, let's talk about websites, right? So if you design websites, I have a lot of website designers out there. I'm gonna talk about websites in a little while. You know, if you charge me $100 to design my website, I'm gonna get extremely afraid because I understand that it takes many hours to put together a website. So if you do offer that, you need to be very clear about what they're getting, because to me it would probably be one page, you know? But it's scary. So you, again, and that's not the industry standard. So you scare people. You think that you're doing a good job by underselling yourself, but they're looking at that going, something is not quite right. Then you can't overcharge, because then I'm going, oh, you're crazy. You want $5,000 for a one-page website? You know, no, you can't do that either. So you have to really do your research, but then you have to be able to communicate your value. The reason fill in the blank. I can charge you X because I provide what? I can demand this amount because I have this credential or this history or this success story, this track record. So, you know, if you're starting out new, you know, again, you still don't have to undersell yourself. You just have to be able to start out the gate, being able to live up to the price that you charge, and then you have room to grow.
I mean, that is perfect. One of the things that I really want to communicate about pricing, when you price an item, you have to take everything into consideration it takes you to deliver that item. You're not just pricing it based on your time. You're pricing it based on the tools, the resources that you're going to have to take to deliver that product. So you always need to be really clear on what are your operating costs. What are your standard operating costs, you know? And for me, my operating cost for the school is close to $32,000 a month. My operating cost for PHU is about $300 a month. And so what your operating cost is, what other resources you have to tap in to deliver that product. It's great. I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. So recently I was approached to write something for a company, and I love writing in the vein that I know. And so I'm great at curriculum writing, but I knew in my heart that this project was going to take a lot more time than the person probably expected. So when I send out the RFP, which is what you send when you are submitting a proposal, the first reaction from the person was, oh, wow, really? But the more she began to talk to me, she began to tell me who I was. Well, you have done this and you have done this, and I know you're going to have a person to do this. At the end of the conversation, she said, I think your proposal is too low. Now, when she reassessed the value of not only what I could do, but the person also who was delivering it, she was willing to pay that premium price. I kind of laughed because in my heart, I really thought she wasn't going to go for it. But she went for it.
But go back to why she went for it. You know, I really want to examine it. I mean, she went for it, number one, because you stuck to your guns. How many times those of us that are, you know, on this webinar tonight as business owners, we, you know, somebody says, well, you know, I don't want to pay that. You know, I think it's too much. And you say, okay, well, it was 99. Okay, I'll do it for 75. Right there, you just devalued yourself. Part of the reason that she was forced to pause and consider the value is because you weren't budging. You weren't moving. You were willing to come to the table and explain verbally why what you put in writing was legitimate, it was accurate, and it was worth it. And so you got to be able to tell people why it is worth it. And when you do that, then you don't have to back up. Does it say that there's never room for negotiation? Absolutely not. But you don't have to give away the farm to be a business owner. You will never profit. You'll never command the respect for your industry and for your expertise if you're constantly taken down. If you know you're being fair, stick to your guns.
And the other really, really great thing that you have to realize when you're pricing, add value instead of making the discount the initial thing. So one of the things when I was talking to her about the product that she wanted me to deliver, I said, well, listen, this is what I will do to add value, because I want the group of people that's going to use this product to be able to use it in the way that it's intended. I said, I can record some training videos that people can watch virtually so they can guide them through using it. Now, for me, I want them to be able to use the product anyway. Will it cost me a little bit more time? Yes. Would I probably have done it anyway? Maybe. But was it a selling point for her? Of course, because now she has digital collateral that she can use over and over again, which will save her time and money in the long run. So think about what value you can add instead of, you know, what discount. Natalie, I said I wasn't going to take any more questions, but one of your great friends, Miss Janae Cash, sent me a question. So it's so hard for me not to answer them. Oh, Lord. So she wants to know, you know, how do you make, you have this dream, how do you make it into real revenue? I want to start answering this question, but then I'm going to volleyball it over the net to you. One of the things I'm going to say, if you want to run a viable business, and I know I've said it before on this hangout, but it is crucial. You have to know what it costs to run that business. Once you know what it costs to run that business, you know the pricing, then you have to really evaluate the customer you're selling to. Because if I am selling to a middle-class family a particular product that costs $5,000 a month, that's probably not the market that I need to be selling to. So I have to look at that customer altogether. What is their average income? Where do they spend money? Why do they want this product? What is this product going to do for them? What problem is it solving? And when I can ask the questions about my product or service, truthfully, I can answer them, then I'm in a position to make money because I can talk directly to that customer. I can talk to their pain point. But as long as I'm talking generically to any parent that comes into the school, I'm never going to reach them. So I know in my community, my parents want to know that their kids can go in school reading. I know that they want to know that it's a safe environment, that we support the parents as well as the students. So that's what I'm steady communicating. I'm communicating our vision, how we're here for the entire family. So even though I charge more than the other centers in the area, I'm still at the most capacity because I'm not selling them a babysitter. I'm selling them the ideal spot where they want their kids to be for the 12 hours they entrust us. So that's the first way you really start monetizing your dream, is being able to communicate it and to solve a problem for your customer. So Natalie, how do I take that dream and make money with it?
I mean, God, you just knocked it out. I taught you so well. Like
I appreciate
that. You really just knocked it out the park. You know, Janae, really, it really is about, you know, being able to know what it is you have, and to, Brandy hit the nail on the head. What problem are you solving? And I'm not talking about world hunger. I'm not talking about world peace. I mean, if you're solving the fact that I have dry skin, thank you. All right, I need that product. You know, tell me how it works and where I can get it and how much it is, right? If you're solving the problem that I need to lose weight, you know, Janae has Love Work Repeat. If you haven't been there, check it out. I'm doing a shameless plug. But it's about marriage and couples. So you're solving the problem that, you know, the world sees that marriages fail and they don't work. And you're providing inspiration and resources for couples, so that the world knows that couples can make it and marriage is real. So when you know what problem you're solving and you can communicate that, you can begin to move. Brandy hit the second part. How does it make money? If you want it to make money, like Brandy said, if it is truly a business and you want it to make money, how much does it cost to run it? That's how I price my services. I have a set hourly rate that I charge because I'm service oriented. I like to talk about service oriented pricing because I don't have a product that I'm selling. I don't have a phone or something that you can hold. I provide a service. I look at how much I spend for my time, and then from there I build on top of that. How much time is it going to take me to do what you need done? How much footwork am I going to have to do for you? How much am I going to hold your hand? Do I need to help you buy airtime? What do I need to do? And that, you know, and that's where I go, you know, for my pricing. But it really starts with knowing, first of all, that dream that I said, or, you know, is it still sleeping or is it awake? Is it something that when you wake up, that it can live, it can breathe, it can move, and it can provide income and help somebody else? If you can do that, you can move from a dream and you can take that leap and have a real viable, sustainable business.
So that's going to be the end of our question and answer portion. I really thank you guys for all of the wonderful questions, but we do have a few more minutes on the webinar. I want to talk a little bit about the PowerHouses United conference and why you have to be there. I'm going to stand up. I have on the shirt, "Get Up, Dust Yourself Off and Win," of one of our speakers, Miss Tammy Durton. I actually love her. Last year, she made a leap and she put out a book. And I say it was a leap because I know a little bit about her personal story. She is truly an overcomer. And she's really going to help us with the mindset part of owning a business, because every day you have to recalibrate your mind, because the truth about it is you're going to experience some setbacks, some hard times. You're going to experience maybe not having all the money you want, or having to tell people no for a season while you're in the creation point. And so she's really going to talk to us about the power to win in our mindset portion. Now, PowerHouses United is not a cheerleading event. We're not going to be get your pom-poms and let's rah-rah your business. No. We are for the serious, purpose-minded entrepreneur who is ready to take actionable, real, definite steps towards a greater goal, greater profits, systemizing and scaling your business. I believe every business should have an exit plan. When you are ready to walk away from that business, you should not just be closing the doors. You should be able to sell it. And the way you're able to sell it is if you can scale it. You need to be able to grow your business in volumes. So we're going to talk a little bit about internet marketing. We're going to talk about structuring your business to be able to make the maximum amount of profits. And Miss Candace Kirkwood of Blue Light Consulting will be talking about that. And then my business and B School bestie, Miss Brandy Spencer, the owner of Kaleidoscope Consulting and Fearless Biz 101. Oh my God, I just absolutely fell in love with her. She was actually an attendee at PowerHouses United last time, and I was so impressed with her. I invited her to the Powerhouse stage, and they will be there rocking it out with me, teaching you in 4 hours how to systemize, monetize, and take over your industry. You gotta be there. The price, literally $47. Right. Some of you spend that on 2 MAC lipsticks, so don't give me any problem about the cost. $47. You know, I'm not going to say sacrifice something because I know you have $47. We want you to be in the place. It's for men and women alike. If you are a power couple, come on down. We really want to help you. But Natalie was an attender, and she was a spotlight speaker. She spoke a little bit about marketing at our last event. Natalie, tell us how it felt as an attendee and why they have.
It was an amazing day. I think, first of all, there's something to be said about putting people in a room who all are trying to accomplish their dream. There is a synergy and an energy that's created that you're not going to get from home, sitting in front of your computer trying to research it. You're not going to even get it from listening to this webinar. There were people who literally cried. I mean, literally broke down in tears and just began to say how near and dear their dream was to their heart, and how, you know, if they didn't seize the moment, if they didn't do it now, they thought it would be never. And how they had searched for the help and searched for the inspiration and hadn't been able to find it. And PowerHouses United was that place for them. And so, you know, in 4 hours, people were given some major tools that they could use to move forward. And, you know, Brandy follows up with them, and, you know, we get emails and all kinds of updates and information. And what was even more beautiful is, you know, PowerHouses United is just not about, you know, connecting with Brandy. They were able to connect with one another. You know, it was about being a bridge to bring other people together. You know, everybody doesn't have everything, you know, and so to be there with other people and watch them connect and watch them make long lasting relationships was really awesome. So I say to anyone who's out there, you know, we talked about, do you have a business or you have a hobby? You know, if you're available is April 30th and you don't have and you don't have $47 to invest, I'm probably going to go back and say that you have a hobby. Now, if you got something going on, you know, we understand. But if you're available and you're serious and you're ready, then I would say take the leap, invest the $47, and meet us at PowerHouses United on April 30th at the Houston Food Bank.
Yes, and I really appreciate you for supporting the event, because it was a dream of mine to really be able to offer people what they needed to make their dreams come true. For those of you who don't know, I do not coach, and I get that all the time. Are you a coach? No, I am, though, a midwife to all dreams. I want to see people bring their dreams into reality. And so I can connect you with some awesome people to get your business off the ground. I will do a strategy session and, you know, a business profitability meeting with you if you need that. But I really want to connect you with people who can walk you through running your business. So PowerHouses United is an incubator designed for you to get the tools, the resources, the energy, the excitement to run your business in a way that produces you the income that you want. I'm telling you, Race to Seven Figures, 2017, you know, it's my year. I mean, why not me? Why not me? I mean, I'm worth it. I know what to do with it. I'm going to make it work for me. And I want you there with me. I always say, you know, meet me at the bank, see me at the bank. It's not because money is the number one goal in my business, but it is the proof in the pudding that you're running and you can run a sustainable business. And I want to help you do that. Whether your goal is just to make the $6,000 or $7,000 it takes to run your household, or whether your goal, like me, my goal is to make unequivocally $100,000 a month, so I can continue to employ the people I employ. You know, I have a great joy in employing my 15 staff members, not because, you know, of any vain reasons, but I find joy in helping people achieve their own personal work goals and taking care of their family. I don't want to be an army of one. I love working with a group of people to make sure that the children we provide services to have a safe and intellectually stimulating environment. I love what I do. Now, Natalie has a special PHU offer, and I thought she was absolutely crazy when she gave me the price. I was like, you sure? But she said yes. So I'm gonna let her tell her offer. I was like floored. I've never heard her offer this before. You have to email me directly to get this offer. You can email me at the email on the screen, thebrandywoods@gmail.com, or you can email me at PowerHouses United @gmail.com, and I will vet for this offer. But it's ridiculous. So go ahead and tell them what you're willing to do.
Okay, so we have two deals. We have a 50 deal. I'm going to start with my 50. So if you are out there and you really just need to talk about how to start your business, how to market your business, how to position yourself in the market, how to identify your customer, how to build your brand. If you're at that point and stage in your business, I am going to offer you my 50 offer, and that is a 50-minute consultation for $50. We can do it in person or we can do it by phone. Now I'm really getting serious because normally I do it by phone, but we can do it in person or we can do it by phone. And that's what we would spend 50 minutes together, just really trying to flush out, you know, where you're headed, and then we can go from there. So that's the 50 plan. 50 minutes for $50. Like, I'll do a consultation. The big one that Brandy is really, really excited about is that my company designs websites. One of the main things that I see when I talk to people, they don't have a website. And in this day and age, you just gotta have it. So tonight I am going to offer a 5-page website for $500. Now, there are some terms and conditions, but for the most part, you get 5 pages for $500. You email thebrandywoods@gmail.com if you're interested, and she will put you in contact with me. There's no reason for you not to be on the World Wide Web. We will take care of that for you, and we're excited to do so. So there's a 50-minute consultation for $50, $500 for a 5-page website. We have never, ever done that before. My web designers are probably going crazy, but we're going to do it for the PHU. We're going to do it for the PHU family because I believe in you, and I really want you to have what you need to be respected and to set yourself up for success in the future. We got to leap. We got to go. We got to do it.
I'm a little upset because I paid $1,200 for my website, and she's my flesh and blood. So I'm getting a little Tamar Braxton over here, but I'm very, very excited about the 5 pages for $500 because you have to have a web presence. You have to be able to email your audience. You have to be able to have digital proof of what you're doing. And we don't own Facebook. We don't own Twitter. We don't own LinkedIn. We don't own Snapchat. So all of your intellectual property that's there, you don't own it. So you need your own digital home. Listen, guys, the time is far spent on tonight, but I am so excited that you decided to spend your Monday night with me and Natalie. Again, I need you to go to www.powerhousesunited.com. I need you at the event. We still have spaces for one more vendor, I believe, at the event. I need you to be there. I need you to make the investment in yourself. And I'm not going to lie, I want your support. I want to know that you want to come and spend time with me growing your business so we can grow our business together. Remember, I'm on a race to 7 figures. I don't know what your goal is, but my goal, 7 figures, 2017, and I want to have some people with me. The island of Bora Bora is calling my name. It's saying, Brandy, come and see me. And I want to see it, and I want you to be there with me. Thank you for joining in tonight. I hope you begin to take the leap into your destiny. I hope you take the steps to accomplish your dream. Don't let anybody tell you it can't be done, because it can. The only limit you have is the limit that you put on yourself. Anybody who wants their own personal copy of Get Up, Dust Yourself Off, and Win, you can go to tammydurton.com. She has books there. She'll have books at PowerHouses United, but I am going to give away a free copy. You have to email me at @thebrandyWoods, and you have to tell me what you learned on this webinar tonight that made you want to take a leap. What you learned tonight that made you want to take a leap. Email me at @thebrandyWoods. I may not see you around the neighborhood, but I'll definitely see you at the bank. Good night. Thank you, Natalie. All right. Bye-bye. We'll see you guys next Monday with Brandy Spencer.